Hello and welcome to the Telescope. Every week we'll bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. This is the BYD Seagull. The car you see here today costs $12,335. It has 330 kilometer WLTP range or 190 miles EPA equivalents, 75 horsepower, 130 kph top speed, and comfortable seating for 4 grown-up adults. And if you only need 240 kilometers WLTP range, then it's $10,152. I kid you not. This BYD Seagull might be all the EV you will ever need. At 3.78 meters long, this is in between the Volkswagen e-Up and the Polo. It's still definitely a very small car. Just look at these single-arm windscreen wipers. I like this design a lot. It is aggressively cute, kind of like those 5-year-olds riding on motorcycles. People have been referring to this car as a baby infant Lamborghini, and I can definitely see where they're coming from. I definitely prefer this design to its bigger brother, the Dolphin, which is a bit too generic. This is, as I said, aggressively cute. The interior of the Seagull is a toned-down version of its bigger brother, the Dolphin, which was exactly what I asked for. Those elaborate design elements are all gone, but the rotating screen is still here. It's ever so slightly smaller, so now you can no longer run 2 apps on split screens anymore. That is a minor inconvenience. It has finally 4-way adjustable steering wheel, which is not even available on the Dolphin. This is very nice. It doesn't have a sunroof, which I think is definitely the correct choice on such a cheap car. Another minor inconvenience, on my normal driving position, my right knee is knocking against this central air outlet, which is a hard point. You know, it would be great if it can provide some soft paddings. Have you ever wondered what is the smallest possible size for 4 fully grown-up adults? You're looking at it now. Now, I'm 5'11". This is my 6'5" colleague sitting right behind me. Knee room is fine. What is even more amazing is the headroom at the rear. The boot is not big, but it's definitely not unusable. I genuinely think this is the smallest possible size for a real 4-seater. That's what a 2500mm wheelbase on a 3.78 meter long car gives you. No, it doesn't have a frunk, but how dare you ask for a frunk on a car this small? It's so small that it only needs half the width of the front bumper for cooling. Now we're on the move. The Seagull has a 75 horsepower motor mounted at the front axle. That is identical to the Leap Motor T03 that featured in the very first video of the Telescope. And to be honest, on the move, this car does feel a lot similar to the T03. 0 to 100 km acceleration in this car is rated at roughly 13 seconds. You can overtake traffic with this car, but you just need to pre-plan your acceleration and go full throttle every single time. I'm not gonna lie, there is a certain level of enjoyment in driving a slow car fast. But the crucial difference between this and the T03 is, although they both have 75 horsepower, this Seagull has been designed in the wind tunnel and it will do 130 kph. And that is a massive difference in a country like China where the highway speed limit is 120 kph. So this car, if you really want it, can drive on the highway and you will not be a moving roadblock to anybody. Today, the traffic doesn't allow me to demonstrate its high-speed performance. Acceleration of this car within 100 kph is fine. Once you go beyond that, I wouldn't say it's marginal, but the acceleration is pretty mild or pedestrian. You need to be very determined for this car to go beyond 120 kph, but it can do it. And at that kind of speed, only the wind noise is going to notify you, oh, you're going really fast. Because this is a full battery electric vehicle, the increased motor noise is near inconceivable. On chassis setting, this is a very soft car and designed with low speed driving in mind. Once you go high speed, 100 kph beyond, you do notice this car is very softly spun on some big jumps, especially when you're coming on and off the bridges. You do feel this chassis is kind of struggling to pull this car together. But because this car only has 75 horsepower and most of the time it will be doing low speed driving, I do understand why this car is set up like this. And at low speed, this car is definitely very comfortable. Steering on the Seagull is a slight improvement from the Dolphin. It still has a dead zone in the center, but is slightly more responsive even in the dead zone, or in other words, it's less dead. It is still very light, but this is a car with only 1,200 kilograms. If I want to be critical with this steering, is that it's trying slightly too hard on behaving like a bigger, more mature car. In this respect, I do prefer the T03 steering to this. The T03 is very comfortable being a very small and light car. This is trying to be a class or two class above. Do I think Volkswagen or Peugeot or Citroën can produce a car with better subjective handling than this? Absolutely. Is that important? Absolutely not, because let's be honest, internationally this car has no competition. When this car arrives in your country, it probably won't be $10,000 or $12,000, but let's add a 50% on top for the tariff, the VAT, or the extra profit BYD wants to charge towards international customers. I mean, BYD do sell their cars a lot more expensive than what it does in the domestic market. But let's say for $16,000 to $18,000, name me a competition internationally in Europe, US, New Zealand, Australia for this car. 300-kilometer range, 113 kph top speed, comfortable seating for four. I just can't see one. And if you think this car has competition in Vietnam, Southeast Asia, or India, I'm sorry, it doesn't. This is a battery electric vehicle at 3.8 meters long, fully optimized for the battery electric platform. Other cars may be able to hit this price point or with comparable performance, but they will be substantially bigger than this car. Things I wish it could improve on: rear wiper. This car has surprisingly good rear visibility because it only has two seats in the rear. It doesn't have that central headrest, but it doesn't have a rear wiper. I do wish it can have automatic air conditioning. Currently, this is on manual air conditioning. You can control it through the touchscreen, but I find myself trying to control the air conditioning setting on this car a little bit too often. I do wish it can have a proper lane keep system, but I do recognize that is extra cost. No, it does not have a heat pump, but I don't think it's that important on a car this small. You know, the efficiency gain a heat pump would give you would be incrementally smaller because this car has that much less interior space. One thing this car does need to improve is the coverage this single arm wiper provides. I've driven the Leapmotor T03 for a long time, and that car is also on single arm wiper. It provides absolutely more than enough coverage for both the front passengers. These were the pictures we took on the day when this Seagull was delivered to us, and you can see the coverage is pretty marginal, even for the driver. If you're the front passenger, it doesn't even clear your straight line of sight. So in future model year, I do wish BYD can improve this windscreen wiper. You can still do it with the single arm setup, but you just need to maybe alter the geometry, provide a better coverage. I mean, currently, I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but it's pretty marginal. Until I say otherwise, this BYD Seagull is, and I think will remain for a while, my favorite EV. For $12,300 or $10,152 if you need less range, for the vast majority of the public, this might be all the EV you will ever need. We can debate whether it's all the EV you will ever want or not, but if you strip away all of the fantasy and strip it down to the absolute basic functions, just enough performance to keep up with everyone else and not being a moving roadblock, and comfortable seating for 4 adults in the smallest possible size, I think you're looking at that car right here. I'm telling you, this is it. That is all from the Telescope today. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.